Hey, hello, everybody. Hopefully, everything is fine because we are using a new streaming engine that is not OBS. I'm trying a new thing that is called Meld Studio. So far, it seems good. We have been testing it since a little bit earlier with Franco. Hello, Franco. How are you? How is everything? Oh, that's great. That's great. Do we have audio? That would be like a good thing to actually know. Oh, all right. That I can actually fix. Um, all right, but you should be in this one. Ain't it? All right. Give me just a second and I will solve it. All right. Let me. All right. I'm going to have to do this. All right. This is going to be, our first test day. So things may happen. So am getting you from output device is in the roadcaster. So what if I do this? All right. Now, can you hear me through the live? Hello, hello. How about you? No, you're not. So, oh, I know what is happening. This thing is actually. Oh, wait. Desktop microphone. No, that is not the one. Microphone, Black Magic Design. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. It. Oh. All right, give me a second and I will fix it. Oh, I know now. All right, talk now. Nothing? Yeah, no, because I'm trying. Oh, you know what? I actually changed this. So maybe if I put it back, um, output device, let me go back to this one. Right, try now. Go ahead. All right. All right, wait. Then let me see if. All right, now something weird is sounding. It doesn't feel like it's you. This one, but I don't know why. How about now? Mm-hmm. Yep. Full input device. This is not the one. It's gonna sound crazy again. That is not what we want. All right, I'm gonna try this. So this is gonna be NVIDIA Broadcast. All right, let me open up NVIDIA Broadcast and see if I can get you from there. Because I don't know how OBS does it. That is the big issue. Like OBS actually grab the audio from, right. Oh, I can get audio from Discord from here. All right, I think I can. Give me just a second. Let me. All right, so my voice is great. Now let me fix yours. So if I go to Discord, there we go. And now I can go and pass audio. Yep. All right. So now let me come here and don't switch. So, all right, let's test this. So, talk.
Hello, testing, 1, 2.
All right, you're coming through. That is amazing. A little bit hot, but
Might be a little
all
high,
right.
yeah, but it's working.
I got it. All right, I lowered your microphone just a tad on this side. Now I'm gonna have to fix this everywhere now. So this is good. Now you are a little bit, because this screen is a little bit bigger, so you are a little bit zooming. So I can fix that.
It's fine.
But now that I mentioned these, maybe. All right, so I fix it here, but I need to fix it everywhere. So it might take a little bit of a while, but it's gonna be fine. This is gonna be a tricky one. It's all right. So let me come here, go to these, and these is going to be these, and we need to add an audio device, and we're gonna set your voice a little bit down there. This one is good. So today we're gonna be using just these two. Maybe I know that we're gonna need more. So if I come back here, you're good. If I go here, you're also good. All right, so far it's working. Let me keep at it. Right now, this one, 1 second. These is these, and is these, and is these. So we're gonna stick with only these three. So we have more, but this is good. This is good. This is good. And that's it. All right. So finally, we can actually start. All right. Good. Now I'm happy. All right. So the first thing that I wanted to check out today is that we have new gifts. We have a limited time until April the 22nd. So this is going to be fun. Look at these. There are new gifts, and they all look really, really good. Look at this one. This one looks pretty amazing. I don't know if in the fellowship someone actually used this one for something. I believe so. Oh, it has like a statue there. Are these candles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those look really good.
Yeah. This seems like it's a good value for sure. Look at that.
I wonder how old this pack is.
All right, let's try it. So we're gonna go Mystery Cave. And let's go here where we have our dude. And let's search him here in Fab. And we can actually see how far back that thing goes. Mystery Cave. There we go. 100% free. Buy. And there we go. And boom, here we go. Add to project, and now we're gonna know. Oh, 5.1. It's not that old. It looks,
Okay.
it doesn't look 5.1. Maybe it was like repackaged at some point. It looks a little bit older than that. Let's add it and let's see how it looks. All right, while this thing is downloading, there is other stuff that I want to cover today. And it involves our pretty good friend here, the meerkat. And this particular stream is called, things that Unreal Engine, things that Epic doesn't advertise well. And this is one of those. So in between 5.4 and 5.5, finally, we have two huge gifts from Epic. And I believe that they went a lot, a little bit below the radar. And it's mostly, maybe I appreciate it a lot, and we should, right? Because we actually work in a very heavily composite-driven post-production company, right, at some point. And when we were talking at that point about using Unreal Engine, the first thing that they will say is like, yeah, it looks nice, but can it offer passes? Or how good is the actual render? And it will never pass the bar. Every time it was like, no, it still looks gamey. It's not a pretty realistic render. And from our point of view, it was like, yeah, it looks like a very good AAA video, right? Video game. It's still not there, but it's gonna be there. So we might as well, start learning it and start producing with it a little bit, at least some part of. But no, it was always like a very tough sell for everybody who actually work in a very heavily composite-driven, workflow-based, production company. Unreal Engine was always a tough sell. And now, finally, we have two of the greatest thing, everything that they were hoping for. It's almost there, almost. We're just, this far from having everything that they would want. But I believe that with what we have right now, it's like miles ahead of where we started at that point. I remember 8 years ago when we were pitching Red Engine 2 here in Argentina. And now we got it. Let me actually show you the first one. And that is simply up here. And we go down here and we turn on Path Tracer. Look at this little dude in Path Tracer. It looks so good. At least, the actual meerkat. We're going to have some issues here that we're going to have to actually fix. But for the most part, the actual little dude looks like awesome. And that is that Path Tracer is now out of alpha, beta, experimental. Now it's full production. And I believe they achieved that in 5.5. So it's pretty recent. Well, recent a year ago, right? But it's one of those things that it's not really, out there. Like people are still, maybe they don't know, right? That this thing is now ready for people to actually use. And it looks awesome. Now, talking about awesome, let me actually go back a little bit so I can, retrace my steps. So let me go back just a few so I can show you something. First of all, we're running Nanite, everything, but the meerkat. I have not yet to actually convert him because I don't know how the actual hair is going to work. So far, he's the only one, beside the eagle, right, that is not converted here. And the X, I believe, because there are also, even though they are static, there are actually skeletal meshes. So yeah, the thing is that when you use Nanite in your project and you want to run anything that is ray trace, of course, Path Tracer keeps being a ray trace engine. Nanite is gonna do something that it reverts or defaults to the actual Nanite fallback, right? And that we can actually see around here. Like if I actually show you a little bit more of the little hole, the little house of our meerkat. If we jump back into Path Tracer, you're gonna see something funny happening. You can see that the actual quality of everything around is very coarse, and yeah, it makes no sense, right? Well, this is because that by default, everything Nanite is gonna roll back to the fallback mesh, and what that is like LOD4 maybe, something like that. So this is here to do other sort of calculations, like Unreal Engine actually uses the Nanite fallback to do things like reflections and to actually do the bouncing of the diffuse and bouncing of the reflections and everything ray trace related, right? But in the case of Path Tracer, it actually uses for the diffuse. So you get this. Now, this is really easy to actually fix because there is an actual console command that is called nanite. You type nanite and nanite, and you go ray tracing. This is hard to actually remember because you're gonna go ray trace, but no, it's ray tracing, and it's the r.raytracing.nanite.mode, and by default that is gonna be 0, which means Unreal Engine will use the fallback mesh from the nanite for everything ray trace related. If you now come here and you set these to on, now that is fixed. Now, the thing is, you're actually using the the nanite mesh to actually produce, give me just a second, to actually produce the diffuse also, but you're actually paying the full price of actually using ray tracing on a full nanite mesh. In this case, it might not be that horrible because, again, this is a very old piece of content and it might not be very dense. So you're not going to be paying too much of a price. You are, but it's not going to be hell to pay. If you're actually using and abusing nanite on a greater scale where you have like tons and tons of polygons, this is where everything might hold to a grind completely, right? Because you may have like too many polygons for ray tracing to actually, work properly, all right? That would be the first thing to actually know. But the second thing is that everything works. Atmospheric effects. This one in particular doesn't use, this is actually using an HDRI projected on, where is it? It should be somewhere. I can actually select it. I'm a dummy. Here it is. So it actually used like a skydome, right? That actually holds those clouds and everything. It looks a little bit weird right now, but my guess it is, I don't know. Now that I mention it, I don't know why this actual HDR looks so weird. So it should look fine. I believe that if you actually use the environmental lighting and actors from Unreal Engine, you're going to have everything, the sky, atmosphere, the skylight, the clouds, everything is working now with Path Tracer. But this skydome is not. So I don't know why, but that's okay. I believe it might have something in the material that actually have like a secondary, output for everything ray trace related. So maybe there is something about that with these material. We can check that out later and see if we can fix it. Maybe there is something around there that is actually doing that, but that's all right. So that might be the only thing. Anyway, if we render this out, maybe the depth field will eat these up and we're not going to, or we can actually delete it and actually use like the Unreal Engine environmental actors for that. So yeah, but this is not, the worst of all in terms of not being so good at communicating that this is actually fully working. Like they actually name it for a couple of seconds in the presentation in 5.5. And that was it. Like now, remember that thing, Path Tracer, now it's fully done. You can actually use it. And that was it, right? Now there is something a little bit more important than that. And it's hidden inside this project. Oh, please, don't crash. Oh, you did. Dang it. It's all right. Come on. Oh, here we go. Send and restart. And that is the render graph. It is still on beta, so but it is work. No, wait. Now that I remember, it's fully production. As far as I remember in the Unreal Engine 5.5 presentation, they said that the render graph was finally out of beta and is now full production ready. So you may say, well, yeah, now we have like a different way instead of using the normal, right? Let me actually open up. I think that is in scenes and we have the actual level sequence. Let me see if this is the one. This seems to be the one. No, this is something else. Give me just a second. Oh, this is the Misery Cave. No, I want this level and these main sequence. So we can actually see the meerkat animation and everything. This thing, I don't know if this has happened to you at some point. This is the the camera cut. No, this is not the camera cut. This is the shot track. And you can actually see that there is like this black
You probably
thing
want
here.
to take us off the screen because we're covering too much. Can't even.
You mean here?
We can't see the sequencer really.
Wait, it's this one. All right. So the actual shot track has like this weird blackness in between. You can actually hover it, and it sometimes will snap. It will actually show you what shot is below it. But I don't know what is this darkness here. The first time that I'm seeing this is in this project. I don't know. I don't use thumbnails. Oh, there is no cam blend now. What? Oh no, because the cam blend is not in shots; it's on camera cut. Yeah. So well, go ahead. You can actually jump into each shot. I mean, there is no issue with any of those. It's just like a display issue. But just with this particular project, again, these old things sometimes doesn't, go upgrade well to new versions of the engine. So this might be one of those. For the rest, this thing looks awesome. It looks exactly the same as ever. Beautiful and incredible as it is. I think it was Weta Digital, the one that did this one. This one is a work of art for sure. But what people may not know is that you can actually come here and you can open up your render queue, right? And now it's here. And so, this thing has its own job that you can actually load, and it's going to have like all the information and everything. Plus, you will load the actual settings that they have for it, which is nice because now you can see these. They actually have a version. They have them both. Let me show you the other one so we can actually don't jump the gun. So replace with preset, and we actually have a preset. Oh no. No, we do have a preset. Wait a second. I remember that I saw one. Come on. It's in Content, Cinematics, Movie Pipeline, Movie Render Graph. These. No, this is the... Wait. Did I dream about that one? What about this? No. Where is it? Movie Pipeline presets. Here it is. Yeah. So let me actually go through these first so people actually, understand what we're talking about, because many of the people that are going to be seeing this video might not be in the loop. So this was the old way of creating the settings for your render, right? For the actual render queue. And you are going to actually add these here. I don't know why I cannot. Oh, now it appears somehow. All right, so now it looks like this. This is fine. So this was like the old way of actually setting up your your job to be rendered out. So you're gonna pick out different settings that you could add from top here. And there are a few that are very necessary, like the actual anti-aliasing. You can see that in this one, they actually choose to turn off the anti-aliasing method, and they added like 15 temporal sample count, which is like a lot. But yeah, this is how you use to actually render out from Unreal Engine. It was good, but it was not great, and I'm going to let you know why. The big deal out of using this one was that if you go to your deferred rendering, you're going to have these actor layers, and you can actually add like an actor layer. And if by any chance you had on Windows layers and you add layers, for example, I have one that is called the character layer, right? You can actually turn this on and off so you can see who is in there. So the actual meerkat is inside this one, right? Now, you can actually add that layer here, and you would create what is called an stencil layer. So what a stencil layer was, I think we can actually do like a fast render of this so we can actually see it. Hopefully everything is already compiled so you can actually see what I mean. Let me come here and go to the output, and I want to render about here. Where are we? This is 4073. So I want to render 4073 to 4073. Yeah, I want just one frame of this so I can actually show what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to be doing with this, I'm going to be adding the default layer. And what this is going to do is give me the rest of a render plus, you know, this new actor layer, right? So this is what it means. And on top of that, it will give me like a normal render main pass, right? So the beauty pass with everything in it. So let's actually test this and hopefully, what is this? And what is this? Where are the actual UI and everything down here? All right, let's give it a second. Maybe it will cooperate. I should actually check here and see if Unreal Engine is not compiling shaders, because it might. The first time that you render, this is not the first time that I'm rendering out this scene, but it might be the first time that I'm rendering this out today. So far, everything seems to be good. No big deals. It looks a little bit dark. Oh, all right. Let me check this. All right. Let me see. Again, this is the first time that we're using this, so we might have some teething issues. I think that is my computer wanted for sure have HDRI, so HDR display. And I think these should actually fix it. Let me see if that is the case. And no, it looks a little bit dark still. That is not great. All right. Let me put you back and let me go back here on Melt Studio. Yeah, it looks very dark, man. I don't know. So these are the kind of things that I want to figure out before the next time. I didn't realize that it looks a little bit weird. And I'm having this issue. Right, this thing may not be doing anything. Playback range was 0. It was not 0. It was 0. Custom start, custom end. Maybe I will add like one more frame. Oh. Let me see. If it actually, yeah, I think that it needs to know that is, yeah, it is the shot 20. So what I'm going to do is, oh, great. They're all turned off. All right, let me turn this one on. This might help. And, all right, you know what? Turn them all on. Can I? Boop. All right, try it now. All right, now it's going. Compiling shaders pretty fast. All right, now while this thing compiles shaders, let me think what is going on here. So this thing is coming through the Atom Mini, and then it goes in as a camera. And so this is this. And can I do something to this to actually make it a little bit brighter? All right. I might not want to mess too much with these camera properties. Is there something I can do? Configure. Imagine if I break this in the middle of the... No, this is too risky. I'm going to have this fixed, right? This is not going to be the greatest. I might actually do like a full video of this because it actually deserves it. All right, so the render is out. let us check it out so I can tell you what was the big deal with this. So again, we have our, use photos for a PNG. That's be fine. So we have our beauty pass, which is here, which is great. That is what we want. Then we have the meerkat, which also is great. Like he is completely in place, right? And it's being occluded by everything on top as you might want to have it. But then this was the huge issue with this render. And that is that these still work in the way that what Unreal Engine doesn't see, doesn't render. Unreal Engine has no idea what is behind that meerkat. So that's why the only, as far as you could go with this way of rendering was this. It will offer you what is called a stencil layer, which means that you're going to have a full hole where the actual meerkat should be. This is not great. This is one of those things that heavily driven composition places are not going to like Unreal Engine too much. Now, let me show you the big difference here. I'm going to put these into a folder. Boop, that is fine. And now we're going to get rid of these. I don't know how this is called. This has nothing, this is a window without name. And it died without having a name. So poor thing. So I call it the stack settings because there is like a stack of settings. But let's get rid of this. The way that you're going to get rid of that is doing this. And you're going to replace with graph. It still says beta, but I know that they actually refer to it to be fully production. So who knows? Maybe someone forgot to actually remove this. And that's it. So as soon as you change it, Unreal Engine, it's weird as it is normally, and it will open up the actual graph that is in the Unreal Engine installation. So you don't want to mess with that one, all right? And I think that it's not protected. You can actually break it. So what you want is actually create a new one. You can do it in many ways, but one of the easiest ways is actually, paying attention up here. It says like save it as something, and you can have your own. So let's do that. Let's actually come here. Let's go File, Save As. And let's go to our content. And I'm going to put it outside here. And I'm going to call this one My First Graph. And boom, here we go. Now, I must make sure that I actually assign it here because as you saw, I actually created one, save it and everything. I could continue working on this. And it's still going to use the one that uses, that is in the Unreal Engine installation folder, right? So let's actually go to My First Graph. Now this is going to be rendered with this, right? So far, so good. I can actually do almost the same that we did before, right? You're going to see, let me actually maximize this so we can take a bit of a look of how this is working. It's not going to be a full tutorial about how this works. I just want to, show you what is really good about this one. So it actually now think of these as all the renders that you can create for this particular frame, right? And now you're going to have a full set of layers that you can apply. So from all those layers, you need to have something that are going to be common to all the layers, and then some nodes are going to apply to the layers. This is something that is not really, established, and it's a little bit hard sometimes to actually figure out why the deferred renderer should be down here instead of up here. So sometimes you're going to be dragging from here, and you can actually try to find the actual path tracer or something like that, right? And it will connect it, but it should not work from global. It actually should work from the actual layer, right? So that's the kind of thing that is not great about these. When you right click and you find out all the different nodes that you can use, you can actually drop one, but you would never know, if it should be in the actual globals or if it should be in the actual layer, right? So yeah, a bit of a mixture. And before the end, you're going to see that when we create one of those EXRs output, it's going to be weird because it's going to be up here. And yeah, when we get there, we get there. So what we have here is a simple render setup. Up here, we have normally what we would have in the settings. You're going to find out that the actual warm-up settings now there is an actual node. And now there are no longer, the engine and it was the render and the engine warm up. Now you have only one warm up, and that is lovely. And that is really good. And it actually fixes that issue with the first frame not having the complete motion blur. So you can have like a half-ass motion blur for the first and second, from frame 0 and frame 1, and then in frame 2, you start having like a very good motion blur. Now you can activate this, and it will roll back a little bit and actually catch up and then start from 0 with a good motion blur on it, which is great. And it's on by default, so, well, perfect. The actual game global overrides. Now, the global game overrides now it's a new list and it's curated, and it makes a lot of sense now because now you can actually choose which scalability settings you want to actually go. So what is nice is that before you had like, all right, you could turn on cinematics or not. And if cinematic was off, it was going to read the actual settings that you had on your viewport to actually render, which was not great. Now you can actually say, yeah, I want to render these in epic or high or whatever you want, and you can choose it from here. Sadly, still, I would love to actually have like the viewport one, right? Because you might have like a good combination, because here's the full preset. It's the full cinematic, the full epic, the full high, right? Sometimes I want to run things like full cinematics and just global illumination and high, because it can, if it actually looks right this way and you don't get blotching and stuff, this is like the best combination of scalability settings that you can actually apply. Everything is going to be running, very fast and very beautiful. So yeah, this is great. The rest of these are good. Now that it will not actually turn off streaming by default, texture streaming. This is a huge mistake. This is the button. It should be called crash my render. Like, do you want Unreal Engine to crash the render? You see, yeah, crash it. This is what you should do. Yeah, if you don't use texture streaming, you're going to be loading all the textures in your scene at the full resolution, and that is going to be your GPU like and dies in the middle of the thing. So the rest is like disable LODs, but who cares? Everything now is nanite, so yeah. And the rest are just like flushings and stuff. So these, it's A-okay. I love the new global game overrides. That is really good. You have your output, which again is nice. You can actually set up templates now. You can go custom if you want, if you have maybe like a portrait kind of render if you want to. But everything here is kind of the same. It's really good. A bit more organized, and you have, yeah, everything is fine. Up here, this is great. Now let's go down here where the actual magic happens. So it comes out with an actual default layer that it offers, and it has the actual deferred render assigned to it. Now, this one is really, really good. It has everything that the actual deferred renderer had in the stack, but now it has a few of very interesting stuff. Like, for example, you can render a view mode. So you can render maybe onlit, or you may render collisions. I don't know why, but you can actually render the collisions out. You can render reflections and night map density, shader complexity. I would hope that you could actually use them all. For some reason, they are not all here. If you actually come here on lit and you go to the buffer visualization, you're going to have more. Like, there is one that is really good that is the actual world depth, scene world depth units. This one, it's not here. Gods know why. It would be nice to actually have like an easier way to actually produce your depth of your scene through, selecting it here, but I don't know why it's not here. So we're going to have to fight this one, but it's all right. But yeah, it's really good that you can actually set up like a view mode for your render. Then you have a full set of post-processing after everything. So, oh, no, it's not here. It's actually here. In the post-processing, you can actually turn on and off, different things, features of the post-processing, which is nice. But apart from those, you have the full access to everything here on show, on the flags. So you can render these layer without one light. You can actually choose these and say, well, you know what? I don't like point lights in this render. And you can actually deactivate point lights on this layer, which is amazing, right? So it does like tons of new stuff that are really, really great. And this is going to be really helpful while creating very good render outputs. So it actually showing that they are in contact with people that wants to use Unreal Engine as input for a good composition workflow, which is great. And then again, we still have the way of having our passes, right? And the thing is that now they actually reduce the amount of them. Now, if you actually check these out, let me turn them off so you know what I'm talking about. Let me go here. So these are the only ones that survive this. So now we have the stencil cutout that we are not going to be using in this particular kind of render, ambient occlusion, and we have motion vectors, the world depth, which this one is crap. We're going to be fixing it before the end. And we have the world normal and the world position. These are the only ones that survive the full thing, or this new conversion, right? And we're going to be rendering these out very soon. So for now, I'm going to be closing that and storing it there. Then you have your actual output. In this case, it's a JPEG. This is great. And this is a little bit of bureaucracy. You need to add the name of the render layer here, but also here. So the actual name of the render layer, it's this one, which is called layer 1. But here in the output, it's called a different thing. So this is for you to know one name, but this is the actual name that is going to be in the actual file. So you know. All right, so this is great. This is already set. You can save it. And if it's assigned here, you can actually render local. And this is going to start rendering out and doing everything. So I'm going to stop it so you know. And is this rendering? Yeah, it's rendering everything. Maybe just because I'm going to be turning them all off. And let's go just the camera 20. That is the one that we're going to be rendering. So this is great. Now, let's say that we want to produce the same thing that we produced a minute ago, where we have like the meerkat in one layer and we have like the background in another layer. So let's actually prepare this. And it's actually really, really easy. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing this the best way. This is the way that I know. So I'm just saying, let's actually open up our inputs and our outputs. I'm going to be creating a couple of these because I want to have maybe one for the egg and one for the meerkat and one for the background. This is how we're going to be playing this. So now what I can do is I can copy most of these, right? A couple of times. We're going to be adding to the end of these. But so far, everything is going to be running through the same deferred render. And it's going to be a JPEG output for now because, yeah, we are simple people. This is going to be suffice. So let's connect these there. And the fun thing is that it actually has like a name for them. And this is good. The one that we should make sure that we actually change is this one. All right. So let's go output and output 1 and output 2. So far, so good, right? So now we're going to have like everything the same, right? The same render a couple of times, but this is where magic happens. Let me put these to the side. These might look a little bit better this way. We need a little bit of space, and the same is going to go from this side. So this is good. So first, we need to actually make sure that, and you are going to remember this from Maya when we created, the different layers for the render, how you assign them, creating collections and all that. This has a full div of that example. So what you create is an actual collection, exactly. So you go collection, and this is good. And in this collection, I'm going to be adding a new group. I'm going to add a collection name. This is important. So let's be good at doing nomenclature here. And so this is going to be the background, all right? So this collection is going to be the non-PG. You're going to see why. So I want in this collection everything but the background, right? So for that, I need to actually hide two things. I need to hide the meerkat, and I need to hide the egg. Those are the two things that I need to do here, right? So it actually comes with this condition group, and if you open it up, it will have already one of these, so you can actually use. And here you can go and actually choose like different ways of filtering your scene. You can go actor base or actor layer, actor name, tags, types, whatever, right? The easiest thing, because I'm actually taking out two things, it's going to be to use the actual actor one, and we're going to be adding two actors. So if you don't find the actual actor here, the easiest ways is to move yourself a little bit around here, and we're going to be selecting first the actual actor here, and we're going to add it here, and then add selector from outliner, and we're going to now select egg, and we're going to do the same thing and add the selected. And now we have a collection that has everything but the background. That's why the actual collection is non-BG. So everything that is not BG, not the BGs, is the background, right? So that's it. Now that we have the collection, we need now to do something to it. So we need to add like a modifier, what we want that collection to actually, what we want to happen to that collection. So let's actually do a condition. No, it's a modifier. Sorry about that. Here it is. So again, this has its own name and it's good. I think this one is great. So in the actual modifier, what I want is for these two, and when I say these two, you need to actually give this modifier also a name, and this is going to be hide. This is what this modifier is going to do. We need to add the collection that is going to be happening, these actual modifiers, so the actual non-BG is going to be good, and I want these to be hidden. I want it to cast shadow, and I want to affect lighting and everything. So this is good. This is what I want out of this. And this is going to go out in this render layer that we're going to rename, because this is going to be BG. This is going to be the actual background. So that's it. This one should be working. Now let's repeat this a couple of times for the meerkat and the egg. For those two, it's going to be a little bit different because we need to do a holdout, right? So I'm going to be copying these and put it there. And I think that we're going to be doing this one first, and then we're going to be duplicating this one. So now this collection is going to be called character. All right. And no, this collection is going to be non-character, because I want to select everything in the scene but the character. So the egg, everything is going to be in this collection. And then that collection, what I'm going to do is actually do a holdout of it. So I can actually turn everything off from here. And this one is going to be an actual holdout. And now we need to find a way of actually making this work. So this one is good. I know that it should be something, but the actor, right? So it's the non-char, so not the actor, the character. So it's the non-character. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be adding another one of these. Can I move it up? Because if I cannot move it up, we're going to maybe, all right, you know what? I'm going to be destroying this whole thing, and I'm going to add a new one here. Oh, wait. No. Oh, yeah. No, it's good. I can add a new condition group from up here. Come on. Here, delete. Great. Add a condition group. It's all right. Right, so what I want of this is to use the actor name, because it's the easiest way of actually selecting everything. And that is because the actual wildcard for selecting everything is an asterisk. So this is good. Now I'm going to add another condition group. Oh, but this time it's going to be subtract, and it's going to be an actor, and it's going to be the actual meerkat. So what this is saying, and again, this thing changed from subtract to, right. So what this collection is saying is everything but subtract the meerkat out of it, and that is non-character, right? So this is great. Now I have these, and this is going to be doing an actual holdout, which means that it's going to be producing alpha. That is what holdout means. So everything that is not going to be the character is going to be an alpha. And that's it. Let's actually connect these to that, and let's rename. let me make sure that this is good because I actually changed the name of these collections. So I must make sure that these actually work. So this is going to be the non-character to a holdout to that one. And let's rename these to be character. Now let's do the last one for the egg, right? So it's going to be easy. We can copy these and it's almost the same as we just did. So let's actually do that. So what we need is, instead of these being the actual meerkat, it's going to be the actual egg. So I'm going to be deleting this actor and I'm going to be selecting the egg and I'm going to go here plus, and from selected outliner, this is good. So everything subtracting the egg is going to be the non-egg, which makes sense. And now here in the modifier, it's also going to be a holdout, but this is not the actual collection. It's going to be the non-egg. And this is, you know what? These should not be called hide. This should be called hold out. That is what this is actually doing. And let's do the same thing here. I think that is going to be fine. Let's rename the layer to be egg. And that's it. Now we're going to see the actual magic happen if I actually didn't commit any error here. Let's actually see what we're going to get as soon as we hit render local. Let me save everything. Are you sending me messages? No. So maybe this is another person. Are you there? All right, all right. So here we go. Let's actually render these and warm him up. There we go. So once the render is up, we should have a layer 1 with everything, 1 with only the background, 1 just with the character, and 1 just with the egg. Let's see if that is what is going to happen. And no, there is something wrong here. And I believe that my output is everything. So it should be rendering everything as far as I know. I just enable, oh, what the, shot 30? What is shot 30? Oh, go back there. What is shot 30? So I want to see if I have all the characters and everything in it. So shot 30 might be this one. Oh, no, don't crash. Are you going to crash? Oh, this sequencer is actually having bits of issues. So let me fix this. I'm going to be clicking here and reopening these. Did I override it? This is so weird. You know what? You are drunk, sequencer. Let me close you up and open you back because you are a little bit tipsy. Go up, close engine, go levels, content, levels, open this dude, and I can do it from scratch. So I can actually go here, and this, it's doing something weird. All right, remove these. Main sequence. Are you seeing this thing? Oh. Main level. And all right, wait, no. This sequencer is weird. It's actually not moving around. Oh, I know what might be happening. All right. For my next trick, I'm going to have to actually do this. I don't know how. The actual in and output are in the same place here. Oh, because what I did before, rendering just these particular, right. It's all right. I can fix it. So let's go and do this. I can go now to 0. Oh, I can go here to 0 and do in. And now I can grab these and yeah, maybe around there. I don't care. I'm not going to be rendering up to that point. Now let's scale these, add a render, main sequence. Now everything is here. Now I can select everything and actually turn it off and just turn on 30, I believe. So let me actually take a look here. Oh, this is 20 and this is 30. This is the one that I want. Great. So it says here. So 30 is gonna do. Now I need to actually change this for the graph and then choose my first graph. And now everything seems to be fine. Now let's save everything. What needs to be saved? The sequencer? All right, let's do that. And render local. Warm him up. Look at that. Now, this is magic. This is a thing that was not possible before the render graph. How is this happening? My guess, the wildest guess that I can have for these, how to explain how this happened, is that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 instances of Unreal Engine running right now. There is the only explanation out of this. It needs to have a full Unreal Engine open, as far as I can realize how this is happening, because this thing knows what is behind this character. So it needs to have a particular scene open without the actual character here. You know what I mean? Unreal Engine, what doesn't see, doesn't render, that has still not changed. Right. You know what? Another thing that the actual, and I think that this is like a by-process of what we just saw, is that now Unreal Engine can render multicam in one go. So this really is going to be hard to actually explain to students. Like, we used to have camera cut, right? And the first rule of camera cut was like, you can only have one. And if you have two, the one on top is going to be, the one that is going to be read out, or you can actually assign like a priority to it. So it was really weird. Now you can actually render more than one camera at the same time with render graph. So it's going to be a little bit weird, right? Now, when we need to actually explain this to people, it's going to be a bit of an explanation. Like in the past, the camera cut will only read one camera, right? That was your camera output. Now it can actually output more than one camera. I don't know if it is an actual. I don't know if it is an actual. I think there is a node for assigning a camera or a camera cut here. There might. What if I actually said camera? Camera settings. Shutter timing. So this is not the one. I don't know how that is done. I know that this thing has that possibility. Now to actually render on the same frame, it will output 3, 4, 7 files of the same frame with different camera views. That is also magic, right? That was a thing that was not possible before. And I actually tested with almost 8 layers, and the thing actually goes fast enough. So it's not like, I don't think it's opening like a full Unreal Engine instance to actually get a scene or a level without the meerkat or without the egg. But whatever trickery it's using is really optimized and it's really good. So what this means is that this thing is fully ready for a fully compositor or composition production company to adopt Unreal Engine as their actual render. And these plus path tracer, yeah, it's gonna be the magic. Now you have like a full render. And again, this thing will also render out. So for example, look at this. I can, my actual beauty, I can actually go and create a path tracer for just that one. Yep, I can do this. there, and that there. And only this layer is going to be on Path Tracer. This is nonsense. This is crazy. You could have maybe your characters in Path Tracer and your backgrounds in the third render to save time, right? That is going to be like very, very amazing. All right, what if? Let's actually test this. I'm going to have everything in the third, but the meerkat, because I want the meerkat to look as, you know, those little hairs and everything. So I believe the meerkat is this one. So let's go here and there. And here in the actual Path Tracer, you add the spatial sample counts. So this is the actual samples that you're adding. So I'm going to add just 128. This is not going to be nearly enough, but I want this to render today, right? And the noiser is on. And is spatial the good one? I don't know. I'm going to leave it as default. All right, let's test this. Let's save this. And let's go move a render queue and render local. So let's see what gives. Look at that. That is the Path Tracer. This is crazy, man. The fact that we can do this. This reminds me so much of Blender, where you can have like different scenes, and with one scene you can actually choose like cycles, and for your backgrounds, for the things that are going to have the most amount of pixels, you can use Eevee. So that is really, really amazing. Look at that. It's actually running the samples. The actual sub-sample stuff here is broken. Like, it's not showing the actual samples actually being produced. As far as I know, maybe. Yeah, they're not showing. So it's like a silent mode for the samples. So this is going to be done when it's done. Like, you're not going to have... Oh, it's already in frame number 2. Oh, look at that. Oh, this thing is so amazing, man. Now, he's going to look a little bit weird because for some reason, Path Tracer is like really bright. You can actually control how many bounces you get. I'm thinking that Lumen might have, even though it is advertised as unlimited, diffuse bounce, I think that it doesn't bounce. The actual Path Tracer comes by default with 32 bounces. Like, that thing is crazy. I don't know if you need 32 bounces for this, but it's going to look like overly lit. But that's a thing that you can actually fix in comp if needed. Look at that. Let's see the actual output. And we should have now the first one of our friend here that is being, I believe, overridden. Oh, wait. Look at that. That is our friend in Path Tracer. Oh my God, the difference is abysmal. Look at that. This is silky smooth. And oh. This is so amazing, man. So I have plans. Of actually rendering out the meerkat, full path trace, and publishing it. So people, are going to be savvy of this thing actually existing. That they can now have these beautiful renders, and they can start, making a career in render wrangling, right? Oh, the thing about Path Tracer, which I didn't mention, is that it actually maxed out your GPU. And so your machine is going to be dead until this thing decided to actually stop. You can try and, force it to close. It's not going to close. So if you want to regret the decision of sending the render, you need to actually sometimes crash Unreal Engine. Let's see if this actually pays attention to me and actually stop the render. If it goes to the frame number 12, it might be because it doesn't give a meerkat tail about me trying to close this render. And nope, it went ahead. So let's actually come here, go here, and we need to crash Unreal Engine, sadly. But hey, we actually made it. That was the two things that I want to, discuss today. I believe that there are huge opportunities of actually having a good render out of Unreal Engine. and the fact that you now have the ability of creating those layers, I believe that a good render wrangler, it's always needed in any production because you need someone to actually shave down a couple of seconds out of your path tracing render. So this is going to be like a full, job for someone, and job opportunities for people that wants to apply what they used to know for things like, I don't know, Cycles, Eve, Arnold, Redshift, right? And try to do something here. This goes a little bit further beyond what we just talked today because this thing actually runs scripts and it runs metadata for all your different outputs and EXRs with different metadata on all the layers. So yeah, everything is really, really, really good. So yeah, what do you think? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Correct direct. Finally having it, it's really really powerful. Honestly.
Oh yeah. Yep. All right. So, oh my God, I think that was it. Like there is still a bit to actually explain, but the thing that I told you, I think that the only regret that I have, and it's not a regret, is something that I don't know why they choose it to be that way. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let me open back the sequencer, and these. And we can actually do it from here also. So replace these. Let's choose our graph, open up the graph. So if you go to your deferred render, or by this, the path tracer will do the same because you can, I don't know why you would want that, maybe because of equality, but you can actually output the post-processing materials through the path tracer also. It's fully supported. But in any case, whichever you want to actually use to produce your, velocity and the depth and all those nice passes, there is these world depth that is so wrong. I don't know how they thought of this. This is very weird. Like this doesn't look like depth at all. And in fact, I don't know if it is. This is really weird to actually check out. So let me show you what I have found out about this and how you can actually fix it. Because now that you have path tracer, you don't want to actually use the real-time render motion blur and depth of field. Again, for sure, you're not going to want to use multi-sampling or temporal multi-sampling with path tracer because that is going to be hell to pay. So you really need to use, the actual outputs to make the best out of the path tracer renders out, right? Or the render layers. So this is the thing. This is good. Nowadays, we used to have one that was called world depth.
Remember that we're covering those. We're covering the
Oh,
details.
we might.
So
let me. Yep, let me go off, and then we can come back this way. All right, that's what we're gonna do. So there used to be two different depths. One was the actual scene depth, and that was another one that was like world something depth. Well, now there's only one. The thing is that they actually do this weird thing here. Let me show you what this is doing. So for actually knowing what is happening here, we're going to do a multiply. And that's it. And we can actually take a look at this, enable preview. And we're going to set this to be 0.001. All right, so the actual depth is great. It's actually working perfect. So if you come really near, it goes completely pitch black. And for things that are, very far away, it is white. All right, this is good. Now, they are actually breaking this path and they're using just the red color And then they're using, they are injecting the absolute world position. Again, this is weird. Look at how this actually looks. Yeah, they're actually mixing this as the C or the RGB. So if you actually check this out, it makes simply no freaking sense. Like this thing is weird, weird as hell. Now it's a little bit too 0.1. So it is not depth. This is something weird. Like it has like a top-down depth and a far depth. This makes no sense. I don't know if this is some sort of new output that maybe Nuke can actually find out a way of actually using it. The thing is that this is still good because if you connect these to one of these and you only check out the actual R value of these, it actually carries on the actual information. So if you actually render out with these particular material or post-processing material to get the depth, you need to go to the red channel to actually get the true depth. The other tools are weird. Like you're going to have, yeah, this one that looks kind of the same, but it does have like this arc here. So it actually used like a particular high depth or something like that. So take a look at the difference. This is, flat, the horizon. And this one goes a little bit, I don't know why. It's weird. And the blue one makes simply no sense. Yeah, this one is not depth at all. So whatever this is. So I would say you can actually keep it, but you need to remember to use the red channel out of your depth to actually get the depth. Because if you don't, then you're going to get something that looks like this, very weird and not very usable. It is kind of weird because if you look at from this point of view, it changes, this step here, which is not what you want. I don't know. It's really weird. So that is the only thing that I'm going to add. If you want to play with these, this is what you need to do. Now, the graph doesn't actually allow you to, should I save it? Yeah, I didn't do anything to this. There is no way to actually produce one of these layers out with that information. What you need to do is actually create, because these will never, all the different post-processing materials that you can add here are not going to be output in the diffuse. So they're always going to be, you're going to be assigning a name to this layer. So in this case, this one is going to be, I think this is depth. You can call it C also. And this one is going to be vector, because these will actually hold the motion vectors. So you can reconstruct also the motion blur, right? So this is great. You're going to be enabling them both. And for the depth, you want to have 32 bits. And for the motion, I don't know. It says that it's not necessary, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now, on a JPEG, that thing is not going to do any good. So this is the weird thing. You might want to say, well, I want to have an EXR output for this particular one, right? But it says that it will only produce a single layer. And this is not that good, because then it's going to just have the RGB from the diffuse, but both of these two are not going to be in this EXR, which is not great. So what you want to do is this weirdness where on the actual global path, you're going to be setting up an actual EXR multi-layer. And then you can connect these to that. And now you can actually get rid of all these. You can connect these all to here, just like that, without any output. Because now everything is going to be outputting to this EXR. And that's it. You can actually save these. And now you can actually send it out to render. And instead of having, different JPEGs all around with different name, different stuff, this thing is rendering the first. Why this thing is changing my job every time? Dude. All right, it's all right. So I just want to make sure that we have those two. So as far as we go to, I should actually turn off. No. All right. So it's being produced. So I can actually come here and saved and movie renders, and here it is. So this is what I want. I want to see this EXR and show you what this is. So again, Unreal Engine doesn't export alphas for passes. So you have the different layers here. You have, the chart layer. Right now it's going to be empty. But the one that we want is these two, layer 1 and layer 1, that are the depth and the vector. So if you get the depth, nothing is going to show here because, again, this thing is actually pre-multiplying. So you need to turn off the pre-multiplying. And now you get, all the RGB. So you need to turn up, only check out the R. And if I do this, here it is. But now it's overly bright because you need to actually tone it down. So you're going to have to go to Tools. No. Where I can actually check out. Dang it, DGV. Display profile editor. Yeah, here. I can actually drop the gamma, maybe. No, the output. And yeah, there it is. You can barely see it. But yeah, in the red channel of your depth paths, if you turn off alpha pre-multiplication, there is going to be your actual depth output, and a very good one at it if you care. Yeah, that's it. Take that one, you composers. Now you have layers and path tracing out of Unreal Engine, and it looks awesome. It works really well. So have fun with it. I know that this is going to be great for the industry because, yeah, we need more renders. We need, did this thing end up the render? Did it finish? Maybe it actually cut out because of me escaping it. All right, that is great. All right. So I'm happy. I'm happy now. I actually show something good about Unreal Engine that more people should know about. All right. So let's finish today's live by actually checking out where is the actual mystery cave. Let's go. Meshes, particle scenes. Everybody has a different name for these maps, levels, scenes. Who knows? New map. Great name. New map final.
Oh boy.
And it has a sequencer called new level sequencer.
Yep, I am not surprised. The quality assurance of Fab.
Ponele voluntad.
Yeah. Insane.
Oh my God. All right. So we're going to check this out. In the meantime, I just want to announce that next Tuesday, we're going to be live again. But the next Tuesday after that one, I'm going to be on vacation. So we're going to be missing that one, if anyone cares, right? So not next week, the week after next one, we're going to be, taking sun and, drowning in the ocean. I mean, swimming in the ocean. So yeah, we're going to have fun in Brazil. But yeah, so everyone knows. Will this open up, man? This is my hard drive that is really slowing down my rig now. Come on. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Oh, but it's not doing the big thing. All right, who knows what it's not opening? Maybe we can check them out next week. We are 1 hour and 20 minutes in. We must actually check out the rest of these because for sure you're going to have something to show with these dudes here. I know that you're itching to actually put a metahuman inside one of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those look really good.
Yep.
I might have to do that.
This is looking great. These are great armors.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of the same with different colors, mostly.
Just different texture. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it does change the architecture. This is metal. In this case, this is like kind of a rogue leather.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is gonna be exciting. And there is this thing from the Artist Studios, which is looking amazing. I want to play with this one and see what I can make with this. Dude, the depth of field is killing me.
Mm.
Look at that. This one is really good. This is the best value. This is $200 almost of a content for you for free.
Mhm.
This is amazing. All right, so let's see the actual cave. Here it is. These might
Dear
not
Lord.
be prepared or fully prepared for Lumen. Oh my God, this thing is actually running very, very slow. What?
It also looks terrible.
Yes, I give me a few minutes with this and I will make it look the best. Like if you look that way, your machine might die. Oh, what is happening? What is here? All right. Show particle systems. Is it this? Yeah. No, they are not the particles. So what else? Let's go to light types, directional lights, point lights, rec lights, skylights, spotlights. Let's turn them all here off. Right now it's a little bit better. So this is just emissiveness. So even the emissiveness is actually running this thing pretty well, but a bit slow. Oh, the water is magical. All right, that is looking great. I think it's overly bright. So let's go here, Windows, and let's go the color grading. Let's go to the post processing. Let's drop that exposure. Oh, look at that. Maybe to 1. Yeah, this is kind of dark too. This is much better. Now this is looking like a cave you want to live in. And here is the owner of the cave. All right, they have their own version of a Buddha here, which is great. All right, so it's not that bad. I think that with a little bit of work, this could actually look great. There are going to be actual issues. There are some of these lights that might be too powerful for this thing. Spotlights. Oh my God, why have spotlights in this thing? Skylight, rec lights. So far, so good. Maybe are the point lights? Maybe there are like 10,000 of those. There we go. Ish. Oh yeah, there are the point lights. Oh, he's dying. It's not liking these many point lights. How many are there? 35? Oh, you know what? Am I running where's the post processing? Am I running megalights? Yeah, this thing is running. Oh, wait. All right, now it seems to be good. If I turn off megalights, yeah, 20 some with megalights. No, now it's again slow. What is happening here? This thing is weird. No, it's not running pretty well. Oh, it's dying. Am I running something else? No. All right. Well, that's it. All right. I'm going to be turning off these point lights that are killing the scene. And with this magnificent view, we're going to send these live off. Thank you so much for coming with us, Franco. And
Yeah, for sure.
let's do some meta-humans with those rogue characters, free characters. and
I'm
let's
gonna be
see,
taking a look and see
yeah, what
how
we
they
can do with
behave.
those. Exactly. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being with us here, Franco. It's always a pleasure. And I hope it wasn't too boring. I had a blast. I don't know about you. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next time. Be good to everybody. And love you all. And I see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.